Another 6.5 month prediction is about to verify. Let me show you in this tropical update. There's a potential for a hurricane and possibly a major hurricane that will be forming in the Gulf of Mexico from the Caribbean Sea origins here in the next week or so. The models are starting to come into agreement with what we predicted back in March. Let me go and show you through what is going on tonight and today. And thank you for watching our tropical update from Weather 2020. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak. All right, here's what we're looking at. A potentially strong tropical system is 7 to 10 days away. September 20th, 2024 update. This season, the red are the hurricanes and the yellow are the tropical storms. We had Alberto to start, then we had major Hurricane Beryl, more on Beryl in just a second. Then Chris, a very weak system that lasted only a few hours. Then we had Hurricane Debbie and Ernesto, Francine, and Gordon. Yes, I know I got Debbie spelled wrong there. So there have been 4 hurricanes so far, 7 total named storms. The 8th one will be Helene, and it's likely going to be this next one forming in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico. So 7 named storms so far this season. This is the area of interest that the National Hurricane Center is tracking right now for a potential system to weaker disturbances in the Atlantic with very small development chances at this moment. So this is the area of concern across the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea. This season, this is what's called the accumulated cyclone energy, all right? The ACE score, and it measures the strength of a hurricane season. And you can see that right in here, this was Hurricane Beryl, where the ACE was extreme because it was a major Category 5 hurricane early in the season. And you can see the ACE that was developed. Then it was flatlined, and then we had Debbie, then another little flatline, then we had Hurricane Ernesto, and then Francine, and now the ACE is below average as of September 20th. So it's going to be very hard-pressed to go above average this season, but you can see that's where we are at this moment. An independent site called the Barcelona Supercomputing Center tracks organizations from universities, private entities, and government agencies with their predictions for hurricane season. And as many of you know, the prediction for a major hurricane season was predicted by just about every single organization. In fact, the University of Pennsylvania predicted 39 named storms. Weather 2020 predicted 14 to 19 named storms. The lowest one, this will be 3 years in a row that Weather 2020 has won. What is the difference? The others do not know or understand how to use the LRC. All right? So here's where we are right now. 14 to 19 named storms is our prediction. We've had 8, and 9.7 is average. 7 to 10 hurricanes. We've had 4 hurricanes. 4 to 5 majors by now is our forecast, and there's been 1. The average is 2. And our prediction was near average to above average this season, 150. So even we are lower, we are too high, except for we'll see what happens at the end of the season. But the average is now 79.4, and that ACE, 61, is what we're at this moment. A major hurricane is possible within 7 to 10 days. This is the prediction from Weather 2020 for around the last week of September. September 25th centered between the 18th to 3rd of October. These were our thoughts back in March. We tracked these disturbances in November. One early indicator developed and tracked across the northeast Gulf of Mexico. That's why we think these are a couple of the targets for this system. And then another one formed in the Caribbean Sea. We think this one may develop in the Caribbean or the southern Gulf of Mexico and take this kind of a track. Remember, this is a forecast from 6.5 months ago, made March the 3rd. This is the latest data the GFS model, hurricane. And before I get to that, let me make a point. There is not even a cloud associated with this storm yet. So it doesn't even exist. So it's incredible that the models can have an idea of what could happen with a hurricane in the next week or 10 days. But what's more incredible is whether 2020 just doesn't do it 7 to 10 days out. It's done 6 months to almost a year out. And every named storm this season has been predicted by the LRC on some level, some of them ridiculously high levels, including this one if it develops as we expect it to. So, back to the predictions from the models, you can see the GFS model, valid the 27th in the evening, shows a strong hurricane coming into New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, to Florida Panhandle. That's the latest data, okay, from the GFS or American model. The Canadian model is farther west, all right? So Texas, Louisiana, you need to pay close attention. That's the Canadian model. It often is to the left. And then the ICON model or German model is weaker, but due south of New Orleans by next Wednesday night. And the European AI model has it coming in to the Florida Panhandle on the 27th of September. And the European model has it right around, the Mobile, Alabama area, east of New Orleans. So that's the European model finally has it. The European model is the last to come on board. So again, look at these solutions. They're still all over the place, but they all have something, and some of them rather strongly. And the waters are very warm, so it may intensify. It depends how fast it moves and how strong it develops. But this season's been strange, so we'll see. This may very well be related to an earlier hurricane, the Hurricane Beryl part of the pattern, I believe, or Debbie. We're still doing some analysis of that. But anyway, these are the predictions from the various models. And now they're all predicting a potential system. And then, of course, this is our prediction from 6.5 months ago. And for those of you wondering, because a lot of you do wonder out there, what about the times you got it wrong? We only show the times we got it right. The only ones I'm showing, and I've been showing for the last few months, and we've been showing for the last few years, are the ones we predict. We don't have others predicted because we know what parts of the pattern are likely going to produce hurricanes. That's what the LRC provides. This breakthrough technology that I've spent most of my life on, and it's backed by 75 to 80 years of research. So you can read more about it. Let me know if you have any questions about the science, how we do it. We can have a discussion. Don't just tell me it can't be done, because it not only can be done, it's being done. All right, we're showing the organization and the chaos. So we'll see what happens. As you can see here, once again, this is the system heading towards the Gulf area within a week. Now remember, not a cloud with it now. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak.